It's the Redirect Podcast. Search industry research, discussion, and analysis from the Black Truck Media and Marketing Headquarters. And now, redirecting you to the Black Truck team.
Welcome to episode 31 of the Redirect Podcast. It is Friday, January 26th, 2018. I'm Jason Dodge, founder of Black Truck Media and Marketing. Welcome this week by Ashley and Patrick from the Black Truck team. Hey, gang.
Hey.
So gonna kind of welcome everyone to a special edition of the Redirect Podcast. This segment we're gonna call After the Click. And I think a lot of this comes from while we focus so much time and attention on topics within this podcast related to driving traffic to a site, trends and algorithm changes and how that can affect driving traffic to the site. We often have discussions, especially with clients too, around what happens after they get to the site. So after the click, if 50% of the problem is getting people, or challenge is getting people to your site by whatever channel, what happens after that? So we're hoping this is something that we can do kind of once a month, break things up a little bit, provide some more actionable insights and details on things that you should be looking at on your sites, ways to move people, making sure they're in the proper spots, whether you're trying to work them through a funnel, convert them more, things like that. So I'm gonna go ahead. Let's open it up. I'm gonna start with Ashley because I think your approach is going to be pretty spot on with where we want to go.
Cool. All right. So someone clicks on your result in the SERP and they get to your site. Are you giving them what they're looking for? And part of that has to do with understanding what is bringing people to your website. So understanding the user intent. Are they looking for a quick answer? Are they trying to do deeper research on a particular topic? Are they looking to buy something? So understanding why they are there, why they landed on your site. And you can look at Search Console, Google Search Console to see what kind of queries are driving traffic to that page. Is that matching up with your intent in having that page?
So you're saying you're also bringing up another question too of understanding what is as the site owner or as the marketer here, what is your intent for this page? Do you even have an intent for the page? Versus what is the intent of the searcher, and do those two closely align?
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So if it comes up, not to completely railroad, I think this is an interesting direction to go, is that if they don't line up, what do you do? Like, what are some things that we can go through? I mean, obviously if a page continues to rank for certain phrases, certain queries, obvious signals might be like those how-tos or what is, or people looking for pricing and things like that. What are some things that we should be looking for when we're almost analyzing it at the page level to say, do these match up? Well,
I don't know if this will exactly answer your question, but kind of going along with this is, okay, say you're looking at your Search Console and there is a query popping up. Say you have a web page. This is so random, but I was trying to come up with
Is it going to be cats?
Example.
I hope
no, it's not
related.
cats. I'll try to work in cats more for all my fellow cat lovers. But I was trying to think of an example to use, and I know Patrick, you just got your child a bike at Christmas time. So for some reason that popped into my head, and bicycle training wheels popped into my head. So say there was a query like bicycle training wheels. So that kind of query kind of points to someone who's looking for bicycle training wheels. Whereas if there's a query like when to use bicycle training wheels. So there's a couple different intents there, and the when to use bicycle training wheels, they're looking for more helpful information. You might sell bicycle training wheels, but you want to give people the kind of information that they're looking for.
Sure. Yeah, I think you're headed down the right path with that. Is that we know, and we've talked about it, and we'll continue to talk about it to educate people, is that they're not going to convert. A user's not typically going to convert off the first visit. It might take 2, 3, 4, multiple visits to actually get them to convert, even as something as simple as training wheels. So, when do I take the training wheels off? Did you provide me with this master guide? Does Pat have this master guide on his site for training wheels? Oh, it just so happens you sell training wheels or something like that. I think that's a really good tie-in. So someone's searching for a product, or they're searching for information around the product. Does your page even fulfill that? Does your page answer all of the questions and provide them with what you're getting to is more of the why, right?
Right.
So what are they searching for is the query, but you're maybe talking a little bit deeper on like why am I there? Can I identify the fact that Pat, why would you can probably speak on that a little bit more.
When do you start training wheels? Going from like tricycle to training wheels, and then when do you start transitioning out of training wheels into ghost riding the kid on the bike kind of a thing? It's that's an interesting way to put it.
But that could be that same model can be said for anything.
Yeah,
right.
We're talking training wheels, but that could be any avenue in
kayaks to coffee mugs, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess just to kind of recap that discussion, if someone is searching for when to use bicycle training wheels and they land on your site, but you're just trying to sell bicycle training wheels, is that something that you can add to that page that's going to answer the people's question?
Because is that a positive user experience, And if your site is so sales focused, it's really not helpful, right? Like you could even argue too, you go to Amazon to buy things. You don't necessarily go to Amazon to research Q&A type things in your life, unless you're like, I want to see what kind of products are out there in this category. Like I want to see what's available.
Yeah.
You're not going and looking for, you're not searching on a problem, clicking on an Amazon listing in hopes that they're going to provide you this incredible guide on like getting my child to ride a bike, right? Because the training wheels are just one component of learning to ride a bike.
Yeah, and an avid Amazon shopper knows that the product description is going to be brief and lame, and there's not going to be any customer service associated. And an avid Amazon user won't ignore bad reviews. It's especially if there's no reviews, they're not going to use that. They're not going to purchase from that. If there's a handful of reviews, you're going to check them out and see what's there. If there's 2 similar products and one has 700 reviews and one has 22 reviews, you're going to really put a lot of extra effort into figuring out why that 700 review one is dominating.
Totally.
Yeah.
But you're still not being educated about what it is.
Right.
That's a really good point. I like that. What else can we learn about the what and the why?
Yeah, so again, is the content that you have on the page, is it answering the queries that are attracting traffic to the site? Is the content clear and helpful, and is it enough? If you notice that people aren't staying on the page once they land there, think about how you can incorporate internal links to other pages on the site, or include other types of content that's going to enhance the user's experience and give them more information. Or is there anything deterring them from staying on the site? So, this is getting into a whole other ball game, but pop-ups or a poor page layout, etc. That's something that we can discuss another time. But are you giving the user what they're looking for when they click on your page and want to know what you have to say?
And so I think if you take that type of information, trying to better understand and removing yourself as the marketer, remove yourself from the situation completely and say, okay, I'm going to read my page, and and glean some insights and say, what is the intent of this page? Why did we develop this page? In the case of, it's strictly a product page, or it's informational, it's a resource page, two different types of audiences. Does that match up with the intent, the searcher intent, making sure those are closely in line? But then what if, down the road we say, gosh, I'm getting a lot of traffic to a page, so I'm looking at just strictly like sessions and visits at this point. We're getting a lot of traffic here, and it's really developing a lot of time on site. There's some really good solid on-site metrics there, but this thing doesn't convert worth a damn. What do we do? Are we neglecting the highest traffic, lowest converting pages on sites? And I think that there's a lot of people do, right? Everybody's like, oh, the homepage. Well, of course the homepage is going to generate a lot of traffic. That's your main billboard. But look at what your other pages are and how they perform and compare to one another, and then go and look at the intent. So identify those top pages using just Google Analytics, and say, okay, these are my top pages by sessions and user interaction. Maybe couple it with some Search Console data to then be able to say, all right, these are our highest profile pages, our most valuable from a traffic perspective. They might not be the most valuable from a conversion perspective.
Right.
So then we can go back to your question is, well, are we matching their intent? Are we meeting their need? Because if no, you could hit like 3 out of 5 points in what they're looking for, and in some users that might be okay, but you might be leaving money on the table too, and not hitting that. So you might want to go through and revamp and try and better understand whatever it is that topic is to develop a better page.
Yep. For
sure. All right, Pat, I'm going to you next.
Yeah,
I know where you're going.
A lot of that
segue right in.
Yeah, a lot of that segues into what I want to talk about, and kind of, I'm going to maybe say the same thing but differently. But I want to talk about getting around a site, more navigation beyond just a navigation menu. That too often I've seen not just a bad menu structure, but inabilities to get to certain things, like not having a clickable logo, to get defaulting back to the home page, or if it's a field that is heavily contact-based. Let's use the example of a law office. I'm a searcher trying to find a law office that meets the need of some help I need, some legal advice I need.
Are you telling us you're in legal troubles?
Not yet. I haven't filed my taxes yet.
Send lawyers guns and money. Okay.
So the contact information you would think on something like that, like a phone number or an email address, you would want loud and proud everywhere on that.
Yeah.
If it's not present, you're going to lose the opportunity. A lot of that kind of stuff can be a snap decision, and if you can't provide them with the information they need right away, if let's say I'm looking for a bankruptcy attorney, something like that, and you're going to get a million different results because the legal field is the most competitive field on the internet, basically. You find you win the click, you get that click. That's a huge step.
Yeah.
But if you don't have that information immediately available to them, you're going to lose the click.
You certainly don't want to send them on this choose your own adventure party.
Right.
I mean,
right. And that's just one example. As Ashley talked about, getting them deeper into the site through internal links. Once you get buried into that site, how do you get back around? It's sometimes on the bigger sites that are full of 10 years worth of active blogging, and blogging styles maybe changed 2 years ago, and all the old style is still mixed in with the new style. A user can get really lost and not really know where they are and how to get back to that one page. When you click a new link, does it open a new tab? Does it take you away from where you're at? there's so many different things that can bog down a user to get them lost, especially in one of those big, thick sites. That finding a clear path to get anywhere oftentimes really prevents a lot of abandonment.
No, I agree. I think it seems it. While some of that might seem basic, and there are going to be a lot of people who are going to be like, "Oh, well, no kidding." There are countless sites that are being developed still in 2018 that don't follow just good kind of rules of thumb. They've got this, I'll call it a mega menu. It's like a menu inside of another menu. If it's clunky on the desktop side, it sure as hell is going to be horrible on a mobile side. I think that if you follow the keep it simple, stupid approach to navigation, that's going to be the biggest thing. If we focus strictly on navigation alone, where Ashley's talking about, okay, you landed somebody there, now what? Does that meet their needs? Well, what if they want to learn more? What if they, in the case of a law firm or financial institution or healthcare, the kind of the big three there, those all are traditionally a high referral network. That's mostly how those professionals will work. And as long as they're being realistic about it and they say, yeah, we generate a lot of interest through our referral, our referrals, why wouldn't you make it? Like, your brand is known. You, Patrick, might be an attorney at a law firm. Your brand is known. I'm going to go and look for you and land on that page. If I can't contact you, if you don't make it easy for me to reach out and get in touch with your firm, you've wasted my time. Right?
I'm not talking a LinkedIn link. I'm talking.
No, right? Exactly. I don't want to connect with you professionally.
It's a local.
I want to hire
number.
you.
Have a hyperlinked phone number that you could click on if it's
click
mobile.
To call,
and or email address. They can quick email. Don't make it complicated for them.
Well, I think it goes. So there's some basic principles. There's even a. I think we might even have a. I don't know if we have a copy of it. I'm looking over at our bookshelf right now. There's a really great book. God, I feel like it was written in like 99 or early 2000s. It's called "Don't Make Me Think," and it's principles of web design. And I think that is really, really relevant still to this day. And like kind of those key elements you want to think about is keeping it consistent. Back to your point about navigation, content flow and structure wise, totally you have a consistency based off of, is this a product page? Is it more of an informational resources type page? But navigation, absolutely, how and where it's appearing on the site in both a mobile format as well as a desktop format. Categories, we went over this just the other day. Ashley and I did collaborating on something. It's like, if your main services are, let's say in this case, let's think of the bike, the bike theme. If it's, there's men's bikes, women's bikes, children's bikes. Why are we shoving this all under products and then having services next to it and about and all this other crap when ultimately we know people want to come there and they identify themselves as, well, I'm looking for a kid's bike, or I'm looking for a women's bike. Like, make those your main categorical navigations. Like, if you are a homeowner and you land on a site and you make me look for the residential services, like you make me kind of like fumble my way through it, I'm gonna get pissed and leave. But at the same time, if your competition continues to do that, if everyone is on that same train, that's an opportunity to separate yourself, make things really, really simple.
Yeah,
and
you've mentioned it before. It's take a look at what your competitors are doing, and you don't necessarily have to emulate your competitors, but find your competitors' flaws and move in through that, and that goes along with that. Another example, when I mentioned that after the click a couple weeks ago, in reference to a CVB, and there was a subsection on the site, not necessarily a microsite. It was kind of operated like a microsite. When you clicked into it, the logo changed, and then when the home button turned into that subsection. So if I wanted to go back to the previous section of the site, I legit had to click the back button in the browser.
This is breaking the user experience
Yeah,
and the navigation.
if I wanted to go back to the home site of the parent, like the total site, and I clicked on that logo or the home button on that section of the site, it went to the main page of that microsite. And it totally broke the experience. And as a user, I'm not sure which one I'm supposed to be paying attention to now, because there wasn't a distinction between this purpose of this microsite versus the purpose of the site as a whole.
Totally, and I think when it comes to user experience and from a web design perspective, we certainly have a couple of guests lined up that we're gonna bring in to talk specifically about that. But it is, keep it consistent, keep it simple. From a management perspective, man, I hope you have like one or two people that are the point people on the site. It's one thing to say we have this really great marketing team and anybody can enter content. Maybe that's from a blogging and content marketing strategy, but there really should be a single point person or two on a team that kind of more or less hold the brand standards on that look and feel. Because let's not go back to 97 with flashing text and dancing bananas.
Right.
Right.
Why not? Those are fun.
I mean, that only happens every Thursday. Let's really try and keep your brand on point, and that has to deal with everything from the messaging and the way that you're talking to people, as well as, to your point, Pat, navigation and keeping things very simplified.
That point person, another integral part is blogging standards, style and formatting of a blog post. If you have multiple authors, create a standard style guide.
Yeah, absolutely.
That everyone should follow. Naming conventions, introductions, things like that. Again, you see too many mix. If too many people have keys, it's going to get goofed up.
Totally.
You can have multiple authors. You can let multiple people on your team post, as long as there's a standard.
Yeah, editing. I think editing is crucial in that part. I mean, I know I can speak from experience for us internally. I mean, if I write something, I know it's getting scrutinized and edited, by a couple people here. But the same goes for them too, right? I mean, if Ashley writes something, it's going to get scrutinized as well. It all has a very similar flow, it all has a similar outline, but it's undergoing scrutiny. Your entire site should be that way. If you have these really highly valuable pages from a traffic perspective, but they're not converting or they're not driving deeper page depth, so engagement metrics like time on site, page depth, those are things that can also show a lot of value in the search engines as well. Okay, what's broken? What's wrong there? And by broken, it means the messaging is not lining up with the searcher intent. So your intent as the company or organization doesn't match what the user is searching for and the reasons why. So that's one of those things that we'll go deep dive nuts on. But then the other side of it too are just those basic navigational items, Pat, that you pointed out too, kind of as pulling this full circle, is keeping things consistent, making sure all your navigation is clickable.
Yeah,
it's easy to get from point A to point B, and I really think that next level thought process, it seems really basic, but it's very difficult for marketers to get out of this mindset, is the division of your site into more formidable categories. Get out of the products and services, solutions mindset, industries, that type of thing. There's nobody that goes and search, that most of the time they're not searching for just an industry. They're searching for something specific in the industry. So, call out your major categories, your big players, what you're probably selling the most of, and keep it really simple, And now I'm gonna eat my words and probably go look at our own site and make sure that we did the same thing, So, but I mean, we really, at some point, I get it. You have to shove some things under services. if you have a lot, but if you have those major categories of services,
If you know for two things, just highlight the two things.
Absolutely. Yep, for sure. So, I think that's really good. Take a look at what your highest traffic pages are. Spread that out over some time. Maybe take like a snapshot of 3-4 months. Get a good quarter's worth of data, or go an entire year if you want to. See what those highest traffic pages are. How are your users engaging with that with on-site metrics? And then are you fulfilling their absolute need? And then are you making it easy for them to get where they need to go?
Yeah.
I think that's really the basis of it. So in that was kind of our first successful round of a special segment we call After the Click. So check out the last 2 episodes. Have some really good facts. Episode 30, episode 29, where we've discussed topics such as the major changes that have come to Facebook and what we'll call the organic algorithm for pages and content that's going to come up in your timeline, as well as our predictions on like what does the future of voice search look like in 2018 and some other things to come. So until then, good luck.
This has been the Redirect Podcast. Check out the show notes at blacktruckmedia.com and add us on iTunes and Stitcher.